Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps with Boxing Social in partnership with Forged Irish Stout, Ready to Fight, Empire Fight Store, and freebets.com. And I'm joined now with the one and only Conor Benn. Conor, good to see you here in Santa Monica. Just finished, a couple hours of workout? You were battering those pads.
Yeah, I mean, today's just another day. I think this is my second session today. I had track work earlier, which was a killer. But yeah, man, enjoying it, loving every minute of it.
You obviously have been to LA a couple of times now. Do you prefer training here?
Yeah, I love training here. I mean, it takes your mind off of, there's no distractions here. Not that I'm easily distracted back home, but over here it's gym and home. Even though I do that back home anyway, you're here, it's just, I have my physio here. I have my S&C coach. I have my trainer here, my head coach. And, I have plenty of sparring. So, we're all under one roof and all able to just be on that one mission and one goal. And we're here to push me to my limits and my max.
Well, you have a fight coming up February the 3rd in Las Vegas against Peter Dobson. What do we know of Peter Dobson? I mean, we do know he's an undefeated fighter. He's 16-0, 9 knockouts. What have you been able to gather of him or know of him?
I never really watched my opponents.
Really?
Never, no. Never watched any of my...
Why is that?
I just don't worry about what they do. I'm so focused on doing what I do that I believe power, match it, better it. Speed, better it. Timing, better it. Accuracy, better it. Ring craft, better it. Ring IQ, better it. Determination, grit, try me. That's like my mindset. So I believe anything my opponent presents to me on the night, I can do anyway. I'm not concerned about what he does at all. And that goes for Vargas, Algieri, Hayden, Granados, Formella. I never watched them. None of them. No. What my trainer does do is he studies.
Okay.
I have faith in my coach.
Yeah.
And it's weird because my dad never used to watch his opponents. Unless I've seen them fight, obviously. And some I've seen fight, but I never took in notes or... I prepare diligently hard for anyone as if they're my world title fight anyway. But I trust my trainer, my coach. He knows what to look out for. So over the 12 weeks, we'll do what we're supposed to do for the 12 weeks. He'll say, Colin, sparring, keep throwing this shot. This is what he's going to do. Keep throwing it. Keep throwing it for 12 weeks. And then, lo and behold, on fight night, it lands.
So have you been able to, just through what Tony has been able to gather of him, what do you know of Dobson at this stage?
He's undefeated, he's ambitious. And, he's coming to win. Apart from that, there's certain shots that we've been working on, certain tactics. I am what I am, anyway. So, when I see an opportunity, I'll take it. And if it's the shot that we've been working on, great, I'll be throwing that religiously throughout the fight. If it's not that shot and, you got to adapt in a fight, great fighters can adapt mid-fight, can adapt straight away. I believe anything that, he tries to bring, there's too much firepower here. A lot of aggression, a lot of pressure, peer pressure, that will overcome anything presented to me.
For a moment there, all of us were waiting for what was going to come with you and Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, the number one goal for you at this stage is just getting active. You're fighting now in February of 2024, but in 2023 and 2022, you only fought once. So how important is it for you to get 2-3 fights this year?
More like 4.
More 4, okay.
Yeah, I work hard anyway. When most have fallen off or when most have blown up in weight, when most haven't stayed in the gym, I've not been that guy. So over my career, I've known you for a very long time. I don't know how diligently you've followed my career, but when I've been injured, I've stayed in the gym. When I've torn my tendon in my hands, when I've broken my jaw, when I've been injured or when I've fallen ill, I've managed to stay on the ball and I stay in the gym and I stay working, I stay grafting. I use that time to learn. And every time I've come back better. You know, people who have really like followed my career have seen that I've always come back better off a layoff. There ain't been no ring rust. You know, I've managed to come back and demonstrate different qualities, different techniques, different defense mechanisms, loads of different things, you know, because I stay in the gym and I stay working and I use that time wisely. You know, being able to train on a full stomach, being able not to have to rush to get fit to fight 12 rounds, but to be able to not focus as much on fitness, but focus on development and technique and learning your craft and ring IQ, ring experience, shot selection. There's so much to it. Why waste that time to go out and get on the piss? Why waste that time to go and not be in the gym? So I use this time wisely. So for me, it demonstrated in the Orozco fight, 10 rounds, barely missed a shot, landed everything I needed to land. Defense was on point, ring IQ was on point, movement was on point, my fitness was on point. Like everything was fine that night. You know, it just didn't go over. But I was confident going into that fight to fight that Mexican that derails all the Brits, the underdog. It's always the Mexicans. It's always them, you know. And he was supposed to be that guy. You know, there was a number of names presented to me, and you know, that was the guy that I wanted. You know, the same with Dobson. I'll fight whoever, man. No matter if I had a layoff or not, I wanted to go straight into a big fight before the Orozco fight.
Was there a lot of frustration on your part seeing how long everything sort of dragged out and then you didn't end up getting the fight officially over the line with Chris Eubank Jr.?
I wouldn't say so much Eubank, but I'd say in the year and a half that I had out, it's like I'm a promoter's dream. Like, what more do you want me to do? I'm the most wanted man in Britain, most wanted man in the welterweight division. You know, you from Haney, from Brook, from Eubank, from Javonta, from Taylor, from Kelly, it's like, what more do you want me to do? You know, even I think Broner at one stage, then Pacquiao. It's like, what do you want me to do? You know, I ain't fought for a year and a half, and I'm still there, still at the tops of people's tongues, still at the forefront of people's mind in these mega fights. You know, so it's like, it's frustrating not because of Eubank, so I couldn't care less about him. Just a big name. Just anyone. Like any one of the names mentioned. Let's make it happen. So, yeah, you can say it's frustrating for me. You know, because I know everyone wants the big fights. But for some reasons, them fights aren't happening. So, it is what it is. Listen, I do my part. I do my job. You know, I stay in the gym. I stay working. I stay learning. I apply myself. I dedicate myself. Irrelevant of all the drama, irrelevant of all the noise. I do my job. As hard as it is to focus, I do what I'm supposed to do. And no one can ever discredit that. No one can ever discredit Conor's hard work or dedication or application to the sport of boxing. So, just give me whoever. Now, when it went from Eubank to Dobson, it was a bit like, I mean, at least like somebody else. But either way, I control what I can control, and I do my part.
You mentioned several of the names, obviously, that I plan to mention. One of which is Devin Haney's father has mentioned that he would love to make a fight between you and Bill. You know, wanted to make a fight between you and Devin over in the UK. Yeah. Were you a bit surprised when you heard Devin's name, given that he's not at 147, but that they're willing to fight you at 147?
Yeah, it's the maddest thing because I know Bill, met Devin. I like Bill, you know, God-fearing man, lovely man, you know, in his son's corner. And, you know, I always have that respect there because to have father and son combo in boxing, it's like you don't get much stronger than that. So I always got love for that. I mean, Haney started piping up, you know, being disrespectful. He ain't even like that. He ain't even that kid. You know,
did he say something disrespectful to you?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. What did he say?
He said, you know, get off my dick and all that. And I'm just like, I'm just like, you're not even that kid. Like, you're not even that guy. Like, just stop the cat, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pathetic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't Cambosis, bro. Do you know what I mean? Just stop all that. Do you know what I mean? But that was how I felt about it. Like, don't be talking like that, man. Like, you ain't that guy. But if he wants to smoke, he can have the smoke at 147. If it was me, I wouldn't put him in with me at his first fight at 147. But they said they wouldn't mind sharing the ring with me. No problem. Like, I'm ready. Where's the phone? Like, I'm here. I'm about this. You know, so if they want to come overseas, I heard that they want Haney in Saudi. No problem. I'll fight Devin Haney in Saudi. Not a concern to me. Me personally, I think it's too much of a jump up to go to 140 straight to 147 to fight a powerhouse in me. It's not my concern.
That was actually what I was going to ask you, if you felt as though maybe he was biting off a bit more than he can chew at this stage, having just moved up, obviously, to 140.
Yeah, his bark's bigger than his bite. You know, he just like...
I mean, he's daring to be great, which you got to respect at the same time, right? But...
Yeah, then there's being stupid and playing with your health. I mean, listen, it's up to him. He said he rehydrated up to 165, which means he would be sweet to box at 147. But again, that's none of my concern. I heard my name mentioned. It did come as a surprise to me, to be honest. I didn't think I was even on their radar, but the reality is, who else is there for him to fight to get that British public on his side? There ain't many. So, you know, if he wants to fight 147, do it in Saudi, we do it in the United Kingdom in a stadium. It really don't concern. There's loads of fights there for me. I'm really not concerned. Obviously, I'm going through what I'm going through, and for me, I'm on my lane, irrelevant of all the distractions, all the noise. If the name's there, yes, no problem. You ain't got to ask me twice.
Is the Chris Eubank Jr. fight completely off the table for you as far as you're concerned after everything that happened, or would you circle back around at some stage and possibly in the future?
The reality is, I don't really care about him. He's an idiot. That's it. There is nothing else to it apart from he's an idiot who is just an idiot. He's just an arrogant man who's delusional. So I don't know love lost, but yeah.
What happened exactly, Conor? I'm sure you've probably have spoken about this, but I haven't personally talked to you about it. When everything sort of fell through, it was shocking, as everyone was anticipating that on February 3rd we were going to get the fight with the two of you in London.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a money issue. I think it was more contract issues with his team. You know, he talks about, people getting done over for money and vultures taking money. I'm happy with the deal I'm getting. I'm happy with the money I've been getting paid. You know, I'm getting paid well. You know, so I ain't the one who signed a contract where the promoters can take whatever they're taking. You know, that's his problem. You know, he wanted to sign his life away, so to speak. I'm happy with what I'm getting. I'm happy with my deal. I'm happy with, you know, my career, the way it's tracked, the way it's mapped. I trust my team. I trust everyone around me. Yeah, you know, teamwork can be like a marriage. You know, sometimes you argue, sometimes you go back and forth, sometimes you want a divorce, but you never divorce. You know, so it's one of them things where it had nothing to do with the money. It had everything to do with his end, as in him, his management, and his team. Nothing to do with my end or even the money. I'm told anyway.
I know you said that you don't watch tape, but did you happen to watch the fight with Chris and Liam Smith?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I thought it was absolutely dreadful. Like
You thought Eubank's performance was dreadful.
I thought the whole thing was dreadful.
Really?
What? Liam Smith threw, was it 10 punches around? 50 punches he threw. Liam Smith threw 50 punches in that fight. You tell me if there's anything impressive about that.
Okay.
Tell me if I threw 50 punches, 10 punches around, is there anything impressive about that? If someone threw 10 punches around at me, Okay, so forget the 10 punches.
Yeah.
If you can't decapitate someone within 10 rounds of someone throwing 10 punches around, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, if someone threw 10 punches at me in a round, I can assure you now their head's getting taken clean off their neck. So it's like, what's going on here? Because don't think you look great because it took you 10 rounds. You know, when he broke his ankles or tore his Achilles, whatever he done. Or
did you expect that outcome? I don't mean like literally their performance, but did you expect that Chris was gonna win against Liam?
No, no chance.
That?
No, I thought Liam
Okay.
Smith. I rate Liam Smith.
Yeah.
Liam Smith as a fighter. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good pressure fighter. He's calculated. He doesn't do anything special in my opinion, but he does a lot. He does a lot well. And you know, all he done was, you got to remember Liam Smith's a 154 as well, which is mad because I know he had weight issues as well. Again, like, the whole thing's just, it was Eubank's night that night. Rematch, well, put my money back on Smith.
What did you make of him teaming up with Bomac?
Yeah, when you know your career's on the line, you know, you listen. And I think that's what's gone on there. You know, I believe the beginning of wisdom and knowledge is humbleness. You know, that's why I'm always willing to learn. What did I do wrong, Tone? How can I get better? How can I do this? That's just how I believe. I believe you absorb more when you're humble because you listen. You know, I know everything Tony's taught me. You know, but Tony always goes to me, you know everything I taught you, but you don't know everything I know. You know, so for me, it's like that's how I see it, to be honest. So I'm always learning, I'm always growing, developing because I'm humble and I accept that you don't know shit about boxing. You know, so I'm always. You're
always a student.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a student to whatever Tony. When Tony talks, I listen.
Yeah. If you could have it your way, and I'm going to do the thing that we all do, which is sort of jump ahead. And I know you guys hate when we do that, but I almost feel like I always have to ask. If you had it your way to make a big summer fight against anybody, who would it be and why?
In the UK or in the UK, it's hard because I know it's like everyone wants.
It could be anywhere really, but is there anywhere? If you've envisioned a big summer fight for yourself, who would you want it to be?
It's a hard one because if you're talking world title, I'll probably go Barrios. You know, I'd love that fight next. Listen, and I'm talking like this because I'm so confident in February the 3rd in what I do. Like, I prepare diligently hard, you know, and if I see an opportunity, I'm gonna take it. Like, I don't plan on going 12 rounds. I'm prepared to go 12. I'm prepared to go 15. I don't plan on going the distance. So the way I'm talking now is I got bigger plans. I got bigger goals and ambitions. You know, obviously I'll get through Feb the 3rd, which I plan on, you know, absolutely going in there and demolishing him like badly. But yeah, anyway, back on track. What would be the ideal fight? Obviously, everyone wants the Eubank fight, so it's hard because that's the big fight that the nation want, that the world want. You know, I get asked about it over here all the time. You know, you don't really have people going to me, Barrios or anyone else apart from Eubank. But if you're talking world title, I'd rather go Barrios. In April, May, go Barrios April, May, win the interim world title. If not, then obviously you got the mega names. I mean, there's loads. You got then Haney, Pacquiao, Eubank. See Brook calling me out the other day.
I was going to say, Kell Brook's talking about coming back possibly.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, what more do I have to do to make a big fight? What more do you want me to do? I mean, I know people like Price himself, but it's like there's just anyone, man. Like, I'm at a stage.
Can you see the Kell Brook fight happening between you guys, though?
Listen, of course, because the public will want to see it. But in my opinion, I'd stay retired if I was him. You know, he's achieved a lot. He's achieved the highest heights of the sport. You know, when people want to say, "Oh yeah, but you ain't done this yet," I'm 27. Like, I got plenty of time to win a world title. What, till 34, 35? I got time. I ain't having nobody try rush me. I remember people trying to rush me before I had like 15 fights to fight Kell Brook. It's like, hold on a minute. Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
We do notice that in the public nowadays, we do like to see fights made like that. Like, we're not looking at it from back when we used to take our time and build the fighters up. And there, you know, there's levels to this. You don't want to jump and throw yourself in too quickly. And then obviously injuries can occur, permanent injuries that could prevent you from ever taking the bigger fights. So I think you're doing it smart, honestly.
Yeah, I just feel like I wouldn't have developed the way I have now.
Yeah.
Say if they'd thrown me into, you know, 50-50 fight in my 12th fight, or, you know, with limited amateur background, it's, you need to let your fighters grow. Let them grow. Let them have the easy, can't say easy fights, they're never easy. It's the camps, it's the training camps, you know, the drilling, the technique, the rounds, the sparring, the different styles, the fight nights, the diet, there's so many different factors that you have to get together before they all come together, and, you know, you blend it all in a shake, and then, you know, then you got that perfect shake. You know, and for me, it's like, you know, there was a lot of blending we had to do, a lot of things we had to get rid of, a lot of things we had to shape and mould and, you know, grow, develop here, grow there, develop there, change this, drop this, do that, prefer that. There's so many different things into being shaped and moulded into a fighter. It's not just like, oh, that's it, 10th fight in, here you go, have that. You know, whereas for me, I've been able to grow, I've been able to develop, and I feel now at this stage in my career, 27, after have dedicating myself for the past 9 years, 8 years, I've been able to really grow and develop in the gym and become the fighter I am now, which is near enough a complete fighter. Yeah, you can always get better. Yeah, you can always perfect a bit other things, but as a whole, I've had my style. I didn't know what my style was. I have my style over maybe the past 4 years. I'm confident in what I am now and who I am.
What do you make of Terence Crawford potentially moving up to 154 and relinquishing his belts? Good for you guys, though, right? Because it mixes things up at 147.
Yeah, listen, sign me up. Like, I've never said no to a fight. I'm always in the gym. I'm always working. It's down to, you know, Matchroom to make the big fights. This, like, I'm yes. How much? That's it. You know, and I'm there and I'm ready. So
Be good to see you against Boots.
Boots, perfect. I've called the name numerous times.
I've seen you on social media.
Yeah, first it was, we don't know who Conor Benn is. He's not even top 15. You know, why would we want to fight him? It's like, he's not known in Philly. It's like, what are you talking about? He's not known in Philly. Who wants to be known in Philly? Like, there's a whole big world out there. You know, so it's like, no problem. Let's make the fight. You know, I said I want the fight. Like, there's no, people keep saying, oh yeah, why aren't you fighting this guy? Why aren't you fighting that guy? Ain't nothing to do with me. They said they don't want the fight. You don't want the fight? Okay, then don't have the fight, no problem. But when they're coming out publicly and saying, why would we fight Conor Benn? It's like, what more do you want me to do? Who say, oh yeah, you're going to get smoked. You won't go this round. You won't go that round. The problem is back home, the fight, everyone builds the Yanks up way too much. You know, and then when the Brits go over there and derail, it's like, whoa, surprise, surprise. You know, have faith in your fighters. Back your own. Back your own. You know, at the end of the day, I do this for my country. You know, I go and represent my country, and I like to think I do it in a way where, you know, people think, yeah, cool, Conor Benn's fighting. We've got to tune in. Conor Benn's fighting. It's going to be a fight. Win, lose, or draw, you know it's going to be a fight. And back your own. Forget this, forget that. Just back your own fighters, you know, like the Yanks do theirs. You know, if I've got to come across on the other side of the pond, no problem. It don't concern me. You know, I fought in New York early on in my career, fought in Orlando recently, headlining now in Vegas, which is a dream. So it's like, ain't no concern to me. I'll fight the telephone box.
You mentioned Josh Taylor. A fight that interests you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, his trainer come out and said he don't want the fight. I mean, it's not like I'm saying this like no one knows. It's out there on YouTube. His trainer don't want the fight. And, you know, I wouldn't surprised if he don't want the fight. You know, he gave his first fight at 147. First he's at 140, then he's at 147, then he's back to 140. It's like, listen, all these names just bothers me because it's like... It's
exciting at the same time, though, Conor, because your name has so many options. You really don't fall short. It's not like you're one of those fighters that don't have, oh, it has to be this person because there's nobody else. Like, you're in a good place.
Yeah, I mean...
we know that Josh Taylor is likely to have, or they're in negotiations for a Jack Catterall rematch, but who knows if that fight shouldn't happen or in the near future, you two clash.
Well, that fight should happen. I mean... Jack Catterall should be unified. So that fight really should happen. If he wants to stay at 140, then call him back out. Teofimo. No, you got unfinished business with Catterall, man. Like, that fight's got to happen next. But if it does come up to 147, listen, I'm tired of talking about names because it's like over the past year and a half. Oh, come here, what's your thoughts on Pacquiao? What's your thoughts on Eubank? What's your thoughts on Haney? What's your thoughts on Gervonta? What's your thoughts on Garcia? What's your thought? It's like, send me the contract. Send me the stupid contract.
You're over it, but we're all excited because you're back. There's all these people that we could possibly see you against. We're all playing like dream matchups about, well, what about this guy against that guy? Another person I was going to ask you about was Teofimo. He said he would move up to 147 to fight Terence Crawford, but would that ever interest you?
Let's make the fight. We can do the fight, no problem.
Yeah.
Again, that's another name.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to caption it Teofimo Benn or Ben Teofimo, and then it's like, get everyone talking and all hyped. No contract. So for me, it's like, what more do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, I've had a year and a half out the ring, and whichever way about it, I've done it, whether, I've caused beef on Twitter, whether there's been genuine beef with Brook or this or that, or I ain't gone missing. I've still been here and I've still done what I needed to do. I've still been there. Even though I ain't fought, I've still been there. So listen, again, it's like, just let me handle business Feb the 3rd, and then you're gonna have to ask Matchroom Eddie these questions.
So what you're saying is, post-fight, you're giving me permission to be able to drop all these names, and you're going to be okay with answering it.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'd like to think, listen, I'm focused on Feb the 3rd, but, I'm being told, something's being sorted straight away. I'll be ready to go straight again. I'll make sure of that Feb 3rd's my world title fight, and I'll go in there. I always prepare diligently hard, sparring middles, super middles, sparring hard. And I plan on going in there Feb the 3rd, and again reminding everyone why I'm the most spoken about and dangerous fighters to have come out of the UK.
Before we wrap up, because I know you've had a long day, so I appreciate you. Saudi Arabia, there's been so many big fights being made over in Saudi Arabia. What are your thoughts on everything that they're doing over there? And obviously we've already talked about you possibly having a big fight yourself over in Saudi.
I think it's incredible. Shout out to His Excellency. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's like he's done things that are unimaginable. And within the period of time that he's managed to make these fights, is like who'd ever thought in a million years he'd have Eddie and Frank sitting on the same table?
For real.
That's what I'm saying. So when you're talking about good for the sport of boxing, it's a game changer.
And the tournament. Did you hear about the tournament that he has from Matchroom versus Queensberry?
That's what I mean, game changer. But then also, Wallin AJ, with Wilder on the undercard. Who would have ever thought? And then you've got Fury Usyk, and then you've got AJ and Ngannou. So it's like, you're talking in a period of months. So, shout out to His Excellency, man. He's absolutely changed the game.
Better Biv versus Bivol is being talked about also.
Now that fight's a fight. See what I mean? Those fights are the fights the public want.
Another
people are moaning that it's not on British soil, it's not here, it's not there. Well, it wouldn't happen anywhere else, but in Saudi. So
somehow he's been able to have these conversations with the WBC, with Mauricio Solomon, and was able to get the fight sanctioned. Because remember, the WBC was not sanctioning the undisputed fight between Bivol and Beterbiev because Bivol is even though they're both Russian, Bivol is still considered to be a Russian citizen, whereas Beterbiev has been more of like a Canadian citizen. So His Excellency was able to have these conversations, get it done, and get it made. Because you're right, that fight would not have been made anywhere else.
And
at least not until the war is over,
no,
which could be how many years from now?
Well, you never know, and you know that's it. So when you look at boxing as a whole, you know he's a godsend from boxing to make these big fights happen. You know, these are the fights the public want. You know, and it's going to be the undisputed, the winner of AJ Ngannou versus the winner of Fury and Usyk. You're talking, there's levels to this, and you can't knock it. It's never been done before. So when you're talking about game change, you know the game has been changed.
The two fights, if I can get predictions for them.
Yeah.
Fury versus Usyk first.
Oh man, that's so hard. Depends how Fury prepares. I mean,
he's being top secret. There's been no footage, no talks. Nobody's coming out. Usually you'll get Tyson putting out videos of him training and everything, which is only making people question, like, how is he going to come out looking? Like, what's the game plan?
I'm going to have to go with Fury. I don't think it's going to be the most entertaining fight by a mile, but I believe Fury wins the fight. Not by stoppage or anything, but I believe he just makes it awkward on his toes, on his bike, his jittery, feints, his jab, his awkwardness, his height, his reach. I think he's a freak. His build,
he shouldn't be that light on his feet.
No, it's incredible.
He is.
You try to do that for 12 rounds. I'll try to do that for 12. So he's got this style about him, which has obviously been crafted from when he was young. He's just a specimen.
Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
That one came out of nowhere.
Well, not really nowhere. I think it's very predictable.
Really? I didn't see it. I didn't think that Joshua would fight Ngannou next. We heard rumors, but I didn't actually think that was going to be the next one.
No, yeah, it was very predictable. It's a great move, great fight. I believe AJ looked unbelievable in his last fight. Looked powerful, looked strong, looked sharp, looked like you just couldn't fault the performance at all. I thought Wallin would have been a harder fight than what it was. Definitely harder than what it was. But AJ just proved that he's still number one. But obviously number one, number two, people differentiate. Fury, AJ, Usyk, but he's up there, the top three with him. But I believe AJ. I like Ngannou. But boxing's boxing. One's an Olympian, one's a former heavyweight world champion. So it's like you can't. I think AJ were, dismantle him and do what he needs to do.
Were you surprised by the outcome of Fury versus Ngannou?
Heavily. I would have bet my house on that never happening. So thank God I'm not a betting man. But
okay, well, here's the question then. Was Francis Ngannou that prepared and that good, or was Tyson Fury unprepared and just assumed, like a lot of people assume, that it's a boxer just annihilates an MMA fighter?
No, Ngannou was that very prepared, but also Fury is very unprepared. So the combination of both. Because if Fury was very prepared and Ngannou was very prepared, that wouldn't have even come close. One was very unprepared and one was very prepared, because that was then Fury nowhere near his best, and that was probably Ngannou at his best. So I think that's what that comes down to. It's what happens when you take your eye off the ball, because you could never have predicted that, which is why I never take my eye off the ball. From my early experiences early on in my career, I've learned my lesson, and maybe that's lesson learned.
Well, a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I'll be there in Las Vegas to watch your fight on February the 3rd. Any final words? Anything you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Just a big thank you to everyone who's continued to support me. and forever grateful for everyone coming out to Sin City, Las Vegas. The boys all said that they wanted a little getaway trip, so
You gonna stick around for a few days after?
a couple of days, and then I'm heading to Sydney. My sister's getting married.
Okay.
My twin sister.
And congratulations, you have a baby girl on the way.
A little daughter. I know. Yeah. So I'm like, I haven't even been able to fully feel it yet. I mean, I know I've got a daughter on the way, but I haven't been able to like sometimes I'm like, shit, I've got a daughter on the way. You know, like
Yeah, because you're busy.
Yeah, like I'm like just focus on taking care of the family rather than everything else that's going on. But once this fight's done, I'm excited to spend some time with my family in Australia and just be with my family.
Well, congratulations on that. Congratulations to your sister getting married as well. We look forward to seeing you fight on February the 3rd, and we'll catch up with you media week.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye, Fight fans.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.